Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to the Happy Ever After show. I am Cassie Parks, your host, and I'm so excited to be with you for the next 20 to 30 minutes. We're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is how to manifest money. So if you're just joining the show, if you just found the show, thank you so much. If you love it, I would love if you left a review. If you're a longtime fan of the Happy Ever After show, I would also love if you left a review on iTunes. It just helps more people find the show. And if you're loving it, odds are someone else is going to love it. So we are almost to the end of the process. Well, we have about 4 more episodes, including this one, in the process of going in depth in how to manifest $10,000. Of course, this season is based on my book, Manifest 10,000, which is coming out in bookstores so soon. I'm so excited. May 16th, it should be on a shelf near you. Go into your local bookstore, and if you don't see it, ask them to order it in. I would love that. It just shows that there is an interest in that they should put in an order for it. So that's very helpful because I know that you're here because you want to be the person who welcomes more money into your life. And as an entrepreneur, that is so important to your success. So important. It's foundational for being able to grow your business to the next level and the next level and the next level, because at each new level comes more money, ideally. You don't want to go the opposite where you have a bigger business and maybe you have, you're making more money, but actually you're not profiting more. And so you want to be growing, making more money, making more of a profit, more money, staying with you, taking you on amazing trips and celebrating just who you are. And again, money mindset is foundational for entrepreneurs. It's where I see a lot of entrepreneurs get hung up. It's because they don't have this figured out. And so it stops them from growing. And so it's not a matter of learning one more thing or doing one more thing or getting better at sales. It's all of those things aren't working because their money mindset isn't open. It's not big enough to allow in the next level of abundance in their business. So, the symptoms of that are not being able to sell, not being able to figure out marketing, not being able to do all these other things. So I'm so glad that you're here to talk about money mindset. Again, manifesting money, like my favorite topic ever. And so if you love this season of the podcast, you want to get my forthcoming book, Manifest 10,000, either, when it comes out at your local bookstore, or you can go to Amazon, Books A Million, any of those, and pre-order it. It will be starting to ship soon when you're hearing this. So just go ahead and go get it. Love if you just purchase it. If you feel like, even if you've already got the ebook or whatever, if you would purchase one, give it away to a friend, give it as a gift. I would love that and appreciate you so much for that. Today we're going to talk about creating your money persona, which is so important. You've probably heard people talk about a money blueprint and changing that. And I actually teach how to create a money persona because I think it's more valuable than a blueprint. I think because it's actually about a human being. When I think of blueprint, I think, okay, we're going to build a building, which is awesome. But I think money persona, it's not an inanimate object. It is a person. It is who you are going to become. And when I think blueprint, I think an inanimate object. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. Life is just so good right now. Everything is awesome. I love it. I have a little time where I'm not traveling, but I've been able to really deep dive with some of my clients, and I'm loving that work and getting a little more intimate, and we're taking them, I don't know if deeper is the right word when you talk about your future self. I got to figure that out. But it is deeper. We're getting them deeper into who their future self is, more in contact with her so that they can really step in a bigger way to their future selves and create more of that life quicker and easier. And it's just so much fun. I love it. Because that's the stuff I love. And this money persona, like, who is this version of yourself that is super successful? Because often I think the thing that happens, or the thing that I've seen happen, is, people decide, like, okay, I want to be, I want to have more money. I want to be more abundant. So I'm going to pick somebody who's abundant, and I'm going to try and become like them. And I don't think you can ever become like anyone else. I don't think no one else's story is your story. You can't follow the exact same path someone else did. And, you can't just take on their money beliefs. You want those money beliefs to be created, from your own experience, your own desires, and, your own who you want to be and who you're moving into as somebody who's successful with money, like we talked about last time. So I'm excited to talk about the persona because it's important. And so like I said, you might have heard of a blueprint. And a lot of people use this, like, this is your money blueprint. So this is how much money, you're kind of blueprinted to make. This is basically like what it is. And again, I don't love the blueprint example because it just feels outside of someone. It doesn't feel human to me. And I don't think that our money beliefs and our money, who we are in terms of money and the abundance we allow into our life and the abundance we experience, can really be blueprinted out in such a way, like made a plan of, right? It's something you create and you mold as you go along. So it's not something that you lay out these plans on the table and you're like, okay, we're going to put this piece here and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Right? It's something that you mold, and you enjoy molding along the way. And as you learn more, you mold more. So that's why I go with the money persona. And because it really is, your money persona is the characterization of who you desire to be in terms of money. I'm going to say it again. The characterization of who you desire to be in terms of money. Right? So it's, who am I? Who do I desire to be? Right? It's the complete person. It has your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, your experiences, and your feelings. It's your goals as well. And it's really that complete person. It's because there's thoughts and there's feelings, because we're human. So there's always thoughts and feelings. Right? And so just the same, like, as you have thoughts and feelings today, when you are fully immersed in your money persona, the person that you desire to be in terms of money, that characterization, you're going to have thoughts and feelings. It's the whole thing. It's not just believe this, think that. It's, how do I feel about that? Like, what am I experiencing? What are you experiencing? It's all those things. And the reason that it's important is because it's telling you that complete person that you're stepping into, right? Not just like a list of things that you want to be, but who are you as a person when you're super successful with money and you're in that future place of experiencing the success and abundance that you are creating today and, having drawn into your reality. It also gives you a guide so that you can engage and interact with the world. When you can look at this persona and say, okay, this happens in her life, how does she respond? You know how to interact with your world in a way that's supportive of that persona. And again, this is, we talked about how to change money beliefs last episode, and how, just going the opposite of what you don't want to believe doesn't really work. And that's the same, with your money persona. This is taking that to the next level. It's taking those beliefs and it's incorporating that with your goals and your intentions and your feelings and all the stuff that you want, and the experiences of having more abundance, and creating that whole beingness of that person, so that when things do come up, you can engage with the world in a way that supports who you want to be. You can make that choice easily to say, I'm going to look at that differently, or I'm going to step back and calm down because my money persona, my future person successful with money, she's very calm about money. So I'm going to step back and I'm going to get calm, and then I'm going to handle it. And that's so much easier than just trying to be somebody else. Like I talked about at the top of the show, just deciding, okay, that person's abundant, I want to be exactly like them, and having all your reactions be the same. Actually choosing those reactions based on who you are in the future is a lot easier. And the money persona really is a stepping stone to your future self. In a lot of ways, it is your future self. I think, it's just that if you followed me for a while, I talk a lot about your future self, and the money persona is really, it's the foundation of that. And when we go the future self work, we take that to a whole nother level. But it's sort of just like Manifest 10,000 is really the groundwork for how to manifest, how to do this stuff. And then, if you work with me, we take it to another level in terms of your future self. And I talk a lot about your future self, and, you can take it to your future self level on your own as well. But that's sort of the next level of work, is that future self. But this Manifest 10,000 process and this money persona really lays out the foundation of that, to take that future self to the next level. So in case you were thinking, well, what's the difference between my money persona and my future self? If you've worked with your future self, you can integrate your money persona into your future self. So if you've already done some of this work, if you've already read some of my books and you're like, well, I'm working with my future self, awesome. Take your money persona and make sure that she's fully represented in your future self. And your money persona is just the part of you, your future self, that's all about money. How she thinks, believes, experiences, all of that. Your money persona is really that beingness. Remember I've talked about before on shows that it's about being. It's not about doing stuff. It's not about doing manifesting stuff. It's not about visualizing. It's not about saying affirmations. It's not about doing. It's about the beingness. Your money persona is really the next level of stepping into that beingness. And you create it at this point because you've had some experience and you've been playing and engaging the same as the beliefs. And the way you want to do this is you want to think about, if you were going to create a character for a TV show, really, what would all that look like? And you want to think further out than $10,000, like I've kind of mentioned before, is that, your experience with money. So this is past $10,000. This is when you have that future money experience. It's all success. You've mastered manifesting $10,000 over and over and 10 times over again. Think further out, when you're in that place where you're, manifesting hundreds of thousands of dollars. And like I said, you want to think about it like creating a TV show for a character, and you want to write down everything about that character, creating your persona, like the thoughts, the beliefs, the actions, the habits, the experiences, the feelings. What is everything to do with money that affects this persona, and how they engage with the world in terms of money and abundance. And the reason, that I have people do this not at the beginning is the same reason as the beliefs. We don't want to start creating before we've created that money manifesting momentum. You want to create your money persona when you've been building that money manifesting energy, when you've been seeing money, when you've naturally been changing what shows up in your reality. And the reason is that, I live really high. I'm overlooking downtown, the northwest right now, the way that my computer is sitting. And so I'm up on the 34th floor, and I can see things that I could never see on the ground. Things go on up here that you never know would happen. They're actually building a building out. It's up to, they've been building it since I moved in, but now they're putting the floor in, and they're building the pieces right outside my window. And it's so funny because what I see amazes me, because these guys are strapped in. There are no walls. There's barely floors. Sometimes they're running around on beams. And so they all have harnesses, and they're technically strapped to the building, but they act like they're on the ground. They wrestle each other. They're playing pranks on each other. I saw some, a guy dumped a shovel thing of snow and a bucket of water on this guy below the other day, trying to get him to figure out, and he's looking up like, where did that come from? And you can tell, like, I can see their faces and I can see his face below on the floor below. And, they're just guys at work having fun. And you have no idea when you're on the ground that that's what's going on up there. I mean, they're working, don't get me wrong. They work very hard and very long hours. And it's just every once in a while I look out and they're actually having some fun, and which I think is cool. And it's also something that I would never have known. Most people don't know. You probably didn't know until I just shared that story with you, that happens way up in the sky on a building. I don't think it's something that I would be running around having fun, because it just looks a little bit scary to me, but that's what they do. But when you're on the ground, you can't see that. And so creating your money persona at the beginning of the process is like creating it on the ground. You don't know what's going on up above. You can't see out and see those guys. You can't see, all the things going on around the city. Like I could see right now, I-25 is moving very well, northbound and southbound. I can give the traffic report, but you can't see that if you're just on the ground in front of my building. But when you get up high, you can see all these things that you couldn't see before. And that's the same thing that happens when you start creating your money beliefs from last time and your money persona in the middle. After we've been working for about a month to 6 weeks, month to 2 months on building your money manifesting muscles. It's a tongue twister. And, seeing evidence and collecting evidence and experiencing some success and money coming into your life and celebrating that. That's like coming up to the 34th floor where I am, where you have this whole view that you can create your money persona from. And you can see things that you didn't know existed because you've opened to that bigger reality, to a different reality. Your mind seeing stuff different. So that's why it's really important to do that. And here's the basics of it. The better you know your money persona, the quicker and easier money is going to manifest into your life. Because again, that's the tapping into the beingness. That's the difference. When you show up into, let's say it's, I don't know, you accidentally overdraft your account, right? Your bank account. There's maybe what your current and your past self, how they would react. And then there's how your future, your money persona would act, right? Somebody who has, a lot of money and they have, the positive experience with money. Money's constantly flowing into their life. It's easy. They're living the life they want. They're having the experiences they want. They overdraft the account. They're like, oh man, I forgot to transfer money. Darn, right? And then they just deal with it. They either go to the bank if it's, hopefully it's just once, right? And then they fix the problem. And this actually happened to me the other day. I had something coming out of an account and I really thought I transferred the money. And I went in the other day, I look and I was like, oh, the bank covered it and everything's fine. And I don't have a judgment about it because it was literally like, I think I should pay more attention, but every once in a while I mess up. And I can either choose to go because I had the money. It wasn't like I didn't have the money. I just didn't. I thought I knew what I needed to do. I was on top of it. And I really thought that I had made that transfer. I knew it needed to be done. I knew I was, moving stuff around and I was taking care of some things and doing some different things. And I just happened to log on my account and realize, oh, you forgot that, right? But I've evolved. Like my past self, if I did that, would have been like, down a rabbit hole, like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. Like, can't believe you did that. Even if I would have had money, even if it was the same scenario, I would have had a lot more judgment, a lot more frustrated with myself. I would have I don't know, punished myself by thinking about it for days. And like here, I'm able to tell you and you all are able to hear and go like, oh man, she teaches about money and like, she made a mistake. Like, yeah, I still make mistakes sometimes. Again, I knew it needed to be done. I had it in my head. I thought I did it. I mentally had checked it off my checkbox, but cool. What I choose to be grateful for is that I have a bank that I have a long-standing relationship with that just took care of it, and that I'm able to just go in and transfer the money and everything's fine, like I originally had intended. And so that's definitely how my future money persona, like I would like to be the person who always mentally makes the right check, checks off the boxes, right? But, if that doesn't happen, that's okay. Because I can forgive myself. And so surprised I share that, but it's like I'm okay with it because I don't need to judge it. I don't need to make a big deal about it. I don't need to make this mean that I'm not good with money. It just means I made a mistake. I forgot, thought I did something that I didn't. Move on, right? It's the same as I misplaced my keys yesterday. I don't judge that either. It's like, thank goodness I found them and everything worked out perfectly. So normally multiple things like that don't really happen days in a row, but I also don't normally pay attention to them. If I wasn't telling you the story, I wouldn't even think about the keys. So really think about your money persona is in terms of that person who is good with money, who really sees themselves with money, because when sees themselves with money and good with money, because when you see yourself as that, you see yourself as having enough, you react different. Like that person reacts different and they're just like, oh, okay, no big deal. Like, here we go. And again, the better you know your money persona, the quicker and easier your money will manifest because you're being that person instead of being the person who doesn't have money. This is all about where you're stepping fully into that beingness that makes all the difference in the world in terms of manifesting money. So just before we go, I want to share with you a story from Manifest 10K. I love it. I love when people start manifesting and they just go full on and everything is awesome. So there was a woman who posted in the group today, and she had decided in the morning, like, oh, I want some new furniture. And then voila, she got new furniture. I think it was on her Manifest 10K list too, but she got new coffee table and new end tables from her favorite, not just new, from her favorite furniture designer, right? Not like, oh, somebody was just giving away this crappy stuff and I was lucky enough to have it. But somebody called out of the blue and said, hey, do you want some of your favorite furniture? I love that. Happens all the time when you open up to abundance. Things just start falling into your life and people just randomly start calling and offering to give you what you've been working to manifest, what you decided that you wanted. So I'm going to leave you with your mantra, which is, I live an abundant life. I live an abundant life. Keep working on your money persona. Get clear on all his or her thoughts, beliefs, experiences, all that. Have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.